Let me try to explain what I think is ideation phase.
What should be done in such a way that I do it correctly?
So what happens is the entire knowledge goes into your mind, your brain processes it, and it creates your perspective of knowledge. Then they'll take their bike without the helmet, they'll go, policeman will catch, they'll immediately bribe him 500 rupees. So what are they telling, what are they doing?
Hello Prakash ji, how are you?
I'm good, Teja, how are you?
I'm great.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I know how you analyze. I know how you talk. I mean, I want you to answer some critical questions of from the community.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to.
With your intellectual mind. Yeah. So yeah, I've got many questions in which I'm mainly focusing on early stage questions now.
Okay.
So one person has asked, I'm in ideation phase. How do I take my startup forward?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me try to explain what I think is ideation phase. Okay. A startup is in its ideation phase till such time customers are ready to pay money for your product and take it. So it may be in your mind, it may be you might have written out in a paper, or you might have created a PPT of it, you would have created a mind map of it, you have done a prototype, okay, you have spoken to 1,000 people and understood their requirements. You must have tried out many variants of the product. All these are ideas. It is still an idea till such time a customer says, yes, this is what I want, I will pay money to buy it, without you having to go and explain to him what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so to do that, to recognize that you have moved out of ideation phase to business phase, there is only one person who can tell you that, and that one person is the customer. So the only way I know about moving from ideation phase and going closer to business phase is to go to the customer with the product and try it out.
Yeah.
So I always say that okay, we should quickly, as soon as possible, identify a customer. Say that okay, this person, for example, when I say customer, I don't say youngsters or not even engineering graduates or nothing like that. I say Teja. Okay, what does that mean? It means that it is this person's social, economical, intellectual, and educational background and more. The entire demographic of Teja is my customer.
Okay.
Okay, I have to define this person as a customer, then imagine and assume that this is his requirement. This is what we call as hypothesize. Hypothesize his needs and the solution for his problem, and go and give him a product or service to solve that problem which he has. Once you do that, you will get feedback from him. With that feedback, what I would want you to do is to build something called MVP. Okay, it is minimum viable product. Minimum viable product is two different things for two different stakeholders in this. For the founder, it is the minimum viable that he can build using the existing resources. He shouldn't have to go out and ask for people or friends or anybody's investment to build it. He should create a process for the solution with the resources that he has in his control.
Yeah.
And the customer should feel this is a viable product. Okay, so for the founder it is minimum viable, but for the customer it is a viable product.
Viable product. Yeah.
It may not be the entire product, but it is a product which the customer can use. Ideally, always, it's not ideally, always it is the early adopters who will settle for a viable product. Early adopters are those people who are having an acute problem for which they are ready to accept any solution, or they are people who are excited to try out new things. These are all early adopters. Now, if you have convinced an early adopter, that means you have minimum viable product. That is the beginning of the end of your ideation phase. Okay.
Yeah.
Business is not like straight line. Okay, it's a very iterative journey. Even very large companies like Nokia suddenly become irrelevant. So and they started keep discovering the relevance. So it's not like as if you have ever finished your journey. The journey, it's a continuous journey. The journey itself is the uh, joy. So coming back to moving from ideation to going forward to business phase, once you hit MVP, that is when you can say that okay, I have moved to ideation, moved closer to the end of ideation phase, and probably going towards entering into the threshold of business phase. So the only way to move forward from ideation phase is to go to the field, give a product to the customer. If he accepts it, it's an MVP. If he doesn't accept it, it's a feedback.
Yeah. So I'll just act as a early stage startup founder. Just I've just got an idea. I was just exploring the market, and something sparked in my mind. So I'm asking my question in that perspective. I mean, the follow-up question of this is, let's say I have an idea, and I think that it is a very great idea. So even before going to the market, taking the product or taking my idea or problem to the market, the stage between these two, what should be done in such a way that I do it correctly?
Okay, first thing is if you are a young entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, first the primary thing is that you should read a lot.
Okay.
You should not consume. I mean, I don't believe in consuming digital content like what you guys are doing now. Okay, you should read.
Okay.
I'll tell you why you should read. Okay, when you are consuming content, you are consuming my perspective of whatever is the knowledge. Okay, it is my perspective of what I've read, what I've learned and provided. Even I, whatever I say, when I write it down, I might not write it down the same way. I will think more. And when I read what I write down, I read it with a new perspective.
Okay.
I develop new perspective of reading my own articles also. It's not that I do too frequently. I actually frequently read other people's books. But what I'm trying to say is when you read, you are applying 2-3 things. When you are consuming digital content, you don't have to be intellectually aware. Okay, you can just passively watch content. But if you are reading, you cannot read it passively. You have to read it actively. You have to be mindful about what you are reading. So what happens is the entire knowledge goes into your mind. Your brain processes it and it creates your perspective of the knowledge. That is how you can actually gain the real good knowledge. Now, this is strengthening your mind. This is about strengthening your internal stuff. If you have decided to solve problem in a particular, say, a social space or technology space or whatever it is, whatever space you are trying to solve a problem, you should read a lot of content. You should go and meet people who are having that problem. Not with the agenda of selling them your product, but with the agenda of wanting to know their lives. Okay, there are so many problems in this world which we choose to live with. Okay, we don't deploy resources to solve many problems, and it is also not it is not the top priority for us in our lives to solve many of the problems. I would say that probably we take active effort in solving 10-12 problems in our lives. There are 1,000 problems in our lives, of which many other problems we just choose to live with. Okay,
Can you give me an example?
for an example, you go and ask anybody, sir, is corruption a problem? Everybody will say, yeah, it's a big problem. Do you think corruption should not be there?
Yeah.
They will say absolutely, it should not be there at all. Then they'll take their bike without the helmet, they'll go, policeman will catch, they'll immediately bribe him 500 rupees. So what are they telling? What are they doing?
Yeah.
Okay, they are not ready to put in the effort to solve that problem. If somebody else will solve the problem, I'm okay. But if you are building a business, you have to solve a problem for which they are ready to put money. That is how business will get developed. So you should not try to say this is a problem, this is a solution, I'll try to somehow sell it. You should try to understand what is that fellow's priorities. He might have that problem, but he may choose to live with it. Unless you understand what his priorities are there and what is problem, that is he is ready to deploy some resources of his life. If he has to let's imagine that you want to serve the poor. Okay, some families which are having a monthly income of say 30,000 rupees. In 30,000 rupees, what can that guy do? He has to give rent, he has to pay for power, he has to buy food, okay, he has to pay for school fees. After all this, what will be in his hand? Why will he prioritize solving smart home solutions for his house? For example, you go and tell him, sir, you put CCTV camera. There is lot of theft in your area. You put CCTV camera, it will capture. He will tell, boss, please go. Okay, I have nothing to lose in my house.
Yeah.
So that problem might be there. There may be a lot of theft happening in that area, but he won't put money to solve that problem. Because what he loses through theft is probably much less than what he will lose by buying a CCTV. Or even worse, if he puts a CCTV, that fellow will come and flick the camera also. So you should meet people, you should become part of the industry. You should become part of the industry by being there and serving the people and understanding their lives. You cannot be an external player and say that, okay, I have a great idea. You guys have not, I am seeing it from here. You guys have not seen this problem. I only know. Invariably, any problem that is worth solving is getting solved. Somebody is solving it. That's why people are able to continue living. Okay, if there is a problem that is not solved, people will stop living. That's the only other way. So if problem is getting solved, you need to understand how it is getting solved, how much resource is being deployed in currently, it is how it is solved, whether it is the most efficient way to solve. For example, Ola, Uber, these businesses, okay, it may look like suddenly from nowhere Ola came into existence, but there was a problem. People were always riding. People always required a taxi, auto, or public transportation, this kind of semi-public transportation. There was a more inefficient way, or due to advent of technology, a new efficient way of solving that problem came up. That is why it became a business. If there was no need for people to travel, even with technology, Ola or Uber cannot exist. You understand that? So, if you are an early stage founder aspiring to build something, please set aside your idea. Go and understand the people whom you want to serve, whose problem you want to solve. Probably that will give you more insights on what problem really you have to solve.
But unfortunately, whomever I talk with, they are very much attached with their ideas and with their solutions, mostly, not even the problem.
Correct. So that best way is, again, don't keep the solution in your mind and simply intellectualize. Take the solution, create a product, go and give it to customer. Customer will throw it back. Then you will know, okay, I may value this as a great solution, but it's not a great solution. And okay, like you said, people are so attached to the solution, they think customers are stupid. Customers have the right to be stupid. Okay, but what is your job? Is it to make them intelligent or take their money? Your job of building a business is to take money by serving them. I'm not telling you.
I got it.
So, okay, so you focus on that, no? Okay, sir, I've heard so many people coming and telling me, sir, this is a very price sensitive market. People will not pay so much money. If they won't pay, why you want to serve them? Build something that is worthwhile for them, for which they are ready to pay. Right? It may be a great thing. See, the most important things in life we won't spend money to. Okay, it is very very common sense to understand that everybody needs education.
Yeah.
Okay, do you think people send their children to school for education, for learning?
Yeah.
No, the parents send children to school because they are not able to keep the child at home for 24 hours. They want some rest. And the children go to school, they start going to school without knowing why they are going. Then they start going to school because only then they can go to college.
Yeah.
They go to college because only then they can get a job interview. So the purpose of going to school and college is not for learning. It's very small percentage actually go to school for this purpose. 99% probably goes to school either without knowing why they are going there, or thinking that I am going to get a job. If I don't go through this motion, I will not get that.
Yeah.
Okay. So please try to understand the underlying purpose or the underlying needs of the people. Fundamental needs. So everybody needs education. Everybody needs healthy food. Yes. But how many are ready to spend money for that?
Yeah.
You will struggle. All the organic food manufacturers are struggling to sell their product. But people go and pay 10 rupees to buy poison and drink. Right? And movie stars and all come and give advertisement for that. So don't think that people will only take very commonsensical decisions. Try to understand their priorities. Try to understand why they take decisions in a particular way, and serve them the way they want to be served. If you want to be served, then you want to serve them the way you want to serve, then you have to give them money.
Yeah.
That is what most startups do. They call it cash burn. Okay. And many of us think that, oh sir, initially we have to do cash burn.
So
That's one of the worst ideas I've heard in my life. Burn cash.
but I think some startups are bound to cash burn, isn't it?
It is happening. Can we stop it? I don't know. It's a strategy.
Yeah.
Okay, not every strategy is a great strategy, but there are some people who are convinced about a particular strategy, they'll apply it.
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced about it.
Yeah.
So if you are an early stage startup founder, first thing you have to do is shut out all the cacophony about what a startup is. Okay, don't start a business, don't get into startup world thinking that I will raise funds, $1 million valuation and all those things are byproducts of what you do. Come here because you actually know a particular problem that you can actually solve better, and you think that it can be solved in a very large scale.
Yeah.
And it can impact people's life in a very significant manner.
Right.
Then you get into startup world.
So a very quick and I'm expecting a one-word answer for this. How much time would it take, in your experience, to realize that a startup is all about solving a problem and not funding? And what do you think? What is the time in one sentence or one word?
24 hours.
24 hours.
24 hours. Don't talk to anybody.
Okay.
Don't meet anybody. Don't read anything. Don't do anything. Just shut yourself out of the world. Go somewhere. Don't interact with human beings.
Yeah.
Close your eyes and think about. Let your mind wander wildly. But 24 hours continuously do this.
Okay.
You will yourself realize that, okay, this is what I have to do. This is what makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how much time it takes.
The inner why, is it?
Yeah. If you go inward, if you just shut out the rest of the world's noise from your ears and mind, okay, inside you the solution is there. It is lying there. You know what is the solution that you want to build, what is the solution you'd love to build, and what it is that people will value from you. Then come back and build that.